Hello and welcome back to the channel this week. This week we are doing something a little bit different. We're doing a review of the VILTROX 25mm f1.7 Air. Now this lens has been out for about 3 months and numerous YouTubers have done a breakdown review on it. So in this video we're going to discover whether or not it could be your daily carry. Now this little beauty right here only cost $176, which is pretty amazing. All of the Air Series lenses are in this range, and it also comes in Sony E-mount and also in Nikon's mount. By now you all know the specs on this lens. It's very lightweight, so mostly plastic with a metal lens flange. It's pretty wide around, so not small, but it's a normal size with a 52mm filter thread. It fits nicely with a smaller camera like this XT50 right here. And I've been carrying this combo around for about 3 weeks now, using it only on daily walks and on assignments and just as the camera and lens that I have with me all the time. Now let's talk a little bit about what I like about it. Really, first of all, it's really lightweight and it works well with this smaller camera here. And the big thing is it's sharp as a tack wide open, and I find myself shooting with it wide open quite a bit. And the background at wide open is nice. It's pleasing. The bokeh balls tend to be a little bit more like footballs, but $176, you can't really complain about that. Now, the focus is fast. It's, there's no hunting going on, and it's the STM motor, so it really is silent. And the big thing is it resolves 40 megapixels. Let's talk about the things that I really don't like about it, and it's kind of minimal. Yeah, the big thing really is that it's not really, it feels solid, but it's plastic. So if you drop it, it's going to be a problem. But the big one for me is there's no aperture ring. And I got to use the rear command dial to adjust my aperture, and I don't like doing that. It's not weather sealed, but really that's a minimal problem unless you get hit by a wave or a downpour. But another big thing is it doesn't close focus at all. It only closes down to about a foot. That's, what can you expect? I've really come to like this lens, and carrying it around as my only camera and, wide angle walk around lens, I'm coming to like it. Now, it's a 25mm, it's not a 23. So it's about a 38, not a 35 in full frame terms. But you back up a foot and you can't tell. It's not really that big a difference. So, hey, let's look at some photographs, because that's really what this is all about. And I'll talk through the pictures a little bit and explain what I was trying to do. And these are only JPEGs straight out of the camera. So you can use this like the daily walk around shooting JPEGs all the time instead of raw images. But I like to shoot JPEG and RAW most of the time, but I'm only using the JPEGs here. And from time to time, I would put it on my favorite thing, which is using film simulation bracket. I had a good time with that. And I was using Nostalgic Neg a lot, and Classic Chrome and Ostia. Well, those are my 3 choices anyway. So hey, let's look at some photographs and see what they look like. So one of the things that I really enjoyed about using this lens was getting slice of life photographs like this one here. I love the way it rendered it. It was at 1.7, and in black and white it really came to life. It gives me more. I like the way the background looks at 1.7. This image here, just the camera sitting on the table, and I just, I had it in electronic shutter so that it wouldn't make any noise. And got some great facial expressions out of these guys here. And this friend of mine's Bernese Mountain Dog was just looking up at me, f1.7 again, and it came out great. Really nice and sharp. This next image here is of a thunderstorm rolling through over near where I used to live, and in black and white it just takes on a whole new meaning here. It looks great. And this is at f8, and most everything is sharp and in focus. Now these next set of images are from a baseball game I was at. This was taken straight into the sun, and as you can see, it blooms just a little bit. It's not too bad, but then when I was able to put my hand up and kind of block the sun, it came out much better. Great long shadows. And again, we're talking about slice of life pictures here that just, if you got a camera with you, you can do it. And this kid making a little funny face while he's talking with a teammate was great. I just love being able to make images that tell us a little bit of a story. Here we go. The guy's watching the game as it's going on. And, I just had so much fun using this lens on a small camera. Here we go. Two guys talking in between innings, talking about how the game was going on. Now, this next image here is of my son and his dog. And like I said, slice of life. You just never know when the images are going to appear for you. Now, this is the side of my shed, and I just love the way the red door and the lobster buoy show up like this. It's kind of cool. This image here is taken at 1.7, and I was just, slice of life again, and it worked out awesome. This next picture here is at 5.6, and the rest of these images are at 5.6 of the game. And I wanted to see if I could capture something. It didn't really quite work out that way, but this guy's timing the pitches coming from the pitcher from the opposite team. And the next image here is of the same thing, but with the actual batter in the batter's box. So it's kind of cool, the two of them in the long shadow. The long shadow really makes this image. This was also done at 5.6. And of course, a picture of a guy walking off after striking out. You just never know what you're going to get. But it's been fun with this lens and a small camera. I saw this image with the light playing on the bricks here, and it came out great too. This is at 1.7. It's really, really sharp. This image here is of a box of flowers, f1.7 again, and it came out awesome. Another window box, 1.7 again. You can see how the background nicely falls out of focus. It's not distracting at all. This image here is at 1.7, focused on the flowers in the foreground. Everything else is out, and that's fine with me. I don't mind that. This next image here is at f8, and I think I focused on the flag. I don't think the flowers are quite sharp, but it's not bad. It came out pretty good. So with this image here, I was experimenting with nostalgic neg and at f1.7 to see how much shadow detail I was going to get and see how far out the guy and the dog were going to be. And this is at f11. I just wanted to see how much depth of field I could get out of it. And close up, really not as much as I would have liked. Then more window boxes with flowers in them and a colorful little sign behind it. I love the way the shadows are. That's what drew me into this, was the shadows and the yellow flowers with that sign in the background. This image here is at 1.7. You can see the background is nicely rendered at 1.7. It's great. Now we got a movie in town, so that's why the electrical lines are going down the sidewalk. And of course we have very colorful artists who have front of their buildings look very, very colorful. This is at 1.7. It's great. Now this chain really drew me in with the shadows along it. It's also at 1.7. And nostalgic neg again. Really like that film simulation. This next shot here is also at f1.7, and I like the three buildings and the lobster traps next to it. This one here, the ship in the window, kind of drew me in. It's also wide open at 1.7. I'm not sure I like it that much, but anyway, it is what it is. I really like this shot here. This is also at 1.7. I love the shadows, love the colors in it. Nostalgic neg again. Came out really cool. Now this next shot here is at a studio of a friend of mine, and it's nostalgic neg, and it's at f8. And I kind of wish that I'd shot it at f11 so I could have got more in focus. I hope you liked this little episode I did on the VILTROX 25mm f1.7. It completes the Air series to some extent. I hope they come out with new ones. That'll be great. But all of these lenses are exactly the same. They're using the exact same components, really, just changing things around a little bit inside. So, we have a 25, we've got a 35, and we've got a 56 to complete this triumvirate of 3 prime lenses for Fuji X series. And I know I've enjoyed working with them, and I still use them from time to time for different things. And it really comes down to price. $176. That's pretty good. Well, that's USD. That's really good. And, you know, if you're on a budget, you could purchase these three lenses for under $500 or in that range, $550, something like that. And you could put them on a used XT3. You could put them on a used XT4. You could put them on an X Pro 2 or 3 and really enjoy them. So that's it for this week. And if you wouldn't mind, please comment on what you think about this lens. And if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. We've had a lot of subscribers coming in the last month or so. That's awesome. And maybe hit the like button and share it. That would be also great. So remember, it's not what you photograph, it's how you photograph it. And we'll catch you next time.